of which there may be a variety of ways of achieving the same outcome. And perhaps we don't need to get too hung up on the exact way of getting there. Another example of such a thing would be, and this is from my background in civil engineering, would be like a building code. A building code will have some certain performance things that have to get accomplished, but whether you want your home or building to look one way or the other, that's completely up to you. You have, in that sense, free rein. You can let your imagination, you can let your passions run wild within a certain framework. This evening, we're at NASCAD, a place of many passionate, artistically inclined people. And the last thing that people really want to have happen is to have others sort of interfere with your thing. Having the freedom to do your thing is I think, part of our community and our society and our country. So I think within development, there is room for perspective of, here is some overall performance goals, but we're going to sit back and let you sort out the details to follow through on your passions, to make the best use of the resources you have available in the buildings or developments or other aspects of development that are there. In my own background as an environmental consultant, I've been involved in some brownfield development projects. This is where lands that were at one time used for commercial or industrial type purposes that have been through the Department of Environment as contaminated sites come out the other end as being appropriate and usable for new purposes, in essence recycling land. One of those examples would be the Barrington Street Superstore down by the train station. And after that superstore was built, there was a huge number of apartments and a higher density of people living in that neighborhood afterwards. That was back in the 1990s. So there's a case where a brownfield redevelopment can be helpful to a neighborhood. Conversely, I can remember back on Gottingen Street, where when there was a grocery store almost right beside a bank, and neither of them are there now. There are empty lots there. There's land that could be recycled and used in the future for other purposes. I think my background in some of these brownfield redevelopment projects can be useful in not being an authority, but perhaps being a friendly nudge here and there to help facilitate processes so that these brownfields are redeveloped and we have our communities that we want. Because at the end, what will be most effective in the long run as sustainable communities are ones where you have a mixture of residential and commercial and institutional purposes within X minutes.